Okay, so camera died again. I need to get a longer lasting battery, or at least make sure my stuff's fully charged. I apologize for that. So moving into the full pack, I've got a lot of stuff in here. I'll start with these first. In here, I've got a small-ish whetstone or sharpening stone. Coarse and fine edge. I use it on all my blades to help hone them. It really works wonders. I can't remember where I got that one, but I got it cheap. It was like $6. It has yet to fail me. I've got a larger multi-tool. It's a Coleman. I've had this for ages. I don't have the sheath for it anymore. That ripped out on me a long time ago. Standard tools in it, you know, screwdrivers, can openers, mini saw, big blade, little blade, and more screwdrivers plus pliers. Always really good to have a multi-tool. I'm actually probably going to get something like a Leatherman or a Gerber. I've heard really good reviews about both. So we'll see which one I like better, and we'll probably see that in a future video. Probably kind of distantly future. Ready to go. You don't see people who have these too often. A solid set of binoculars. I got these from Military Surplus for I think like 20 bucks. They're one of the more expensive items in this pack. They are 10 by 25. Really awesome. I would keep them probably on my belt, or at least very readily accessible where they are right now in my pack, in any kind of survival situation. When I camp, it's just fun to know where you're going. They help you keep your bearings, and bird watching, whatever, you know. Definitely really solid to have. Worth its weight. This is a diamond rod sharpener. I use it to keep my larger tools sharp. Just pull it right out there. Nice for keeping a good sharp edge on like hatchets and tomahawks, maybe machetes. Your larger items that you know, whetstone is kind of hard to maybe angle on. And then an all-purpose screwdriver. It's got 6 different attachments on the top. 2 different size Phillips, 2 different size flatheads, 2 different size hex tops. Just a cheapo thing. I mean, that comes right off, but it has worked for like 6 years now. Hasn't broken yet, so I'm keeping with it until it does die out on me. I kind of like to run my gear into the ground just so I know I'm not wasting money. I mean, most everything I have will last probably some time more because I've had it for some time already. Moving down the line, we have my first dry sack. In this, we have my, actually I forgot, oh yeah, it's just kind of like an extra bag. I have a hand crank flashlight radio in here. I also have a spare radio, smaller radio in my car, which gets a little better reception than this. Always have a radio. Albeit camping, survival, apocalypse, whatever, radio is going to be one of your best friends. Helps keep you connected to the outside world even if you're in the middle of nowhere. I would suggest getting something solar powered. They have nicer ones like those. Mine's hand crank. That's good enough for me. It also has a DC out to help charge like cell phones and that kind of thing, which could come in, you know, really handy if you're camping. Your phone just dies on you overnight if you forget to turn it off or whatever. It's got a ton of attachments in here. I've got 2 spare inhalers for me. I cycle them out so they don't get old. As of I think June, I'll pull these 2 out, and then for, you know, June and July I'll use those. I'll put 2 brand new ones in here. I have spare batteries for my flashlights. Everything only uses AAAs. I try and keep all of my gear on the same battery system. 1 or 2 types is not bad. I yelled at one of my friends one time when they had 6 or 7 different types of batteries on them. I was like, that's stupid. You're going to be carrying around 6 or 7 different types of batteries. What if one runs out? What if you need to swap it? No. You want to stick, I would say, no more than maybe 3 different types of batteries, say for like AAAs, AA's, maybe the smaller CLRs for the more of the mag lights, or like camera batteries if you're like me who takes his camera out in the woods. Try and keep everything as simple for yourself as possible. You're definitely going to like yourself a lot more later. in the game if you have something simple. I also have my old flashlight, which is just as powerful as this one. The only reason I retired this was because I wanted something to help put in my bag, and I wanted something good in my bag. So that's my backup. It comes in a flashlight holster, which would go right on my belt. The one thing I do not have and really am looking for, but I'm torn on getting, is a headlamp. The only reason I'm torn is I just don't know which type I want. I don't know if I want to go for overly high lumen or long battery life. I have two very, very high lumen flashlights already, so I'll probably go for battery life. Still haven't decided. It's in the market. You'll probably see that in future videos as well. But I like to keep that in a plastic bag and in a dry sack because you can never be too careful. Those things get wet. They're kind of important, especially the asthma meds. So you'd be pretty SOL if those got wet. And, I mean, you'd be surprised how much better you feel if there's music. Or just a radio station that, you know, has somebody chatting away on it. It can really help you feel connected to the world again. You know, just go spend some time out in the woods and see how quiet it really gets. I personally love that quiet, but I have a few friends who start to go kind of crazy after a day or two. They'd probably get kneecapped in any kind of apocalypse situation. And here I have, I'll get back to that pouch in a minute. M48 Tactical Tomahawk. Love this thing. No, I don't have it just for zombie apocalypse. I really like using it for wood chopping and anything like that. Hatchets, I have to say, you have to have a hatchet in your pack. I know people will argue that and you can get away with using a knife. Yes, you can. I have done that for years. I used to be the type who just took a really solid knife with them. I didn't have all these extras. I just took that one beastly piece in, used that, survived on it. It does work. You can do it. But this is fun to use, and it's so much easier chopping wood along with the saw. You get started with the saw, or get started with this, and you finish it off with either or. This is really, really beastly too. In any kind of emergency situation, I would rather have tomahawk over hatchet though, especially something like this because it has the point. Breaking windows, I can smash through a cinder block in 3 hits with this thing. There are reviews on this all over the web. People love it, people hate it. I personally love it. Solid handle. I am actually thinking it's got a little hole in the bottom, putting paracord on here, but putting paracord all the way up for the handle, just so I have, again, more cordage. You can never have enough. It's always good to have spares, and it would make a decent handle for this. This handle's already great as is, but you can always improve something. Really, really sharp, always keeps its edge. I've sharpened it once, and I've had it for about 8 months. Has the nice belt loop on the back, so in any kind of situation, this usually goes on either on the outside of my pack or strapped to my belt. I would keep this close by in any situation. Absolutely love it. I can't speak highly enough of it. But if you have just, you know, like a typical wooden handled hatchet like what your granddad used to use, those are phenomenal. I wish I had one. I don't have a good one. I've got a cheap one with like a rubber grip. Good enough, but it's kind of short. It's a really short hatchet. I want one slightly more axe-like. That's just my preferences. So, mess kit. This is beat to shit. It's old as hell. I wouldn't trade it for the world. I've had this since I was about 6 or 7 years old, which is about 15, 16 years ago. I'm 21 going on 22, in case the math hurts your brain. It's a really, really solid piece. I'm not going to take it apart right now because it's a standard mess kit. You've got a pot and a bowl inside. You unhook this, flip it over. You've got a handle for your pot. I also have a can of Sterno in here, along with a Coleman 3-in-1 piece utensil eater. It's got spoon, fork, knife. I don't like sporks. I don't like all the 3-in-1 stuff. I like having separate things for separate, things to eat. Like I said, can of Sterno. I'll show you my cook stove once we get there. I like the Sterno because you can also use it as a heat source. Again, redundancy with fire. You can use it to help start fires if you absolutely need to. I've also got water purification tablets in there. And the just in case, I ripped the back portion of the cardboard off of the packet that the water purification came in, telling you how to do it. That is more or less for my fiance because she is not quite outdoors apt as I am.